Hello, hello, and welcome all my beautiful power sisters. Dr. Anita Jackson here, founder and CEO of Power Her Success Alliance, AMJ Productions and Publications, and Leading Man Institute. I am beyond honored and beyond excited to introduce you to all of these beautiful, amazing powerhouse women who are here today as we are launching our very first book. This is the first book I've done in a really long time, called Power Her Success. All of these leading experts are going to give you information that's going to help you make a decision. That word decision means to reach a definite conclusion. We want you to reach that definite conclusion within the inside of you that you, my love, are a powerful woman. And when you own that as your absolute truth from the inside out, your outside world will actually align with that truth and help you not only change your life and live your best life, it will also help you change your family, your community, and from that, we will change the world. So let me introduce to you all these amazing, powerful, I'm going to declare them as best-selling authors, co-authors of this particular book. Hey ladies, how are you all doing? Are you excited to be here with me?
Amazing, incredibly excited. Thank you.
So excited, Dr. Anita.
Yep.
Thanks for having us.
Yay, it's only two people are happy. Only Laura and Michelle are happy. All right, so I basically, they've been invited to just really share their heart, share their wisdom. And I want each of you to introduce yourself. I'm going to just go in the order of how I see you. There's no specific order to it. And then we're going to get into this conversation. And we want you to reply below in the comments and let us know what your thoughts and feelings are about a woman being powerful and why is this so essential right now and especially in the future. With that being said, hey, Lori Shin, introduce yourself.
I am glad to be here with all these powerful women and with you who are watching. I am Lori Shin. I help guide you to bridge the everyday and the sacred. I do ceremonies and somatic sensing experiences, as well as I am a very profound love. I have a very profound love of Carl Jung's work and shadow work. I'm an ordained minister, so I do a lot of weddings, which is fun. But really, what I wanted to have you all think about is, how are you staying in the shadows? How are you not showing up? You need to show up, ladies, because whatever gifts you have to give to the world, they need it now.
Now.
What do you think?
I love it. Thank you, Miss Lori. All right, Miss April, go ahead, girl. Introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm April A. Ross. My chapter is Quick Energy for Success. And I think we can all agree that if you are depressed and exhausted, you're not going to show up powerfully. And if you're anxious and going in 10 directions, you're also going to have a hard time showing up powerfully. So what I've really dropped into this chapter is 8 powerful tools, whether you need to speed up because you're exhausted, or whether you need to down regulate and balance so that you can be focused, attentive, and walk into the boardroom absolutely ready to go. That is what I've put in there, and it is really deeply important. That's the depth of the work that I do. I've helped clients heal from depression, PTSD, fibromyalgia, and all kinds of trauma and pain. And it's actually quick and easy and fun if you do it in a way that aligns with you. So that is what I have brought forward in Power Her Success.
Love, thank you so much, Miss April. Hey, Miss Deanna, all the way out there in Barbados. Introduce yourself, my friend.
Bermuda. I'm in Bermuda, not Barbados, but my name is Deanna Durham, or Deanna A. Durham, and I'm about mastering your finances. And I think that that is so critically important for women, and particularly during this time when there's a lot going on in the financial world, which can allow us to be fearful. But what we don't want to do is make decisions based off of false evidence appearing real. So the goal here is to educate you so you can understand what's going on in the financial world, as well as the instruments and the various vehicles that are out there for you to use, so that you can build for yourself a plan that will get you through your life, individual life, achieving the goals you need during the various stages of your life. And what I find is right now you're getting sound bites on different types of vehicles. And people, it's so overwhelming when it's really, really pretty basic. So I'm here to help demystify it and help you understand that you can achieve your financial independence. You can achieve financial peace along the way, as Dave Ramsey says. You can achieve all those things if you set up the right foundation with your finances.
Love it. Oh, I'm so excited about that. That's one of my topics that I want to get deeper into as well. So well done. Hey, Miss Michelle, all the way out in Sacramento. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Dr. Anita and everybody else and all of you listening right now. I'm so happy to be here with you. I am so excited to empower people to, especially women, with all my heart of hearts, to live on purpose now and to discover the champion that's in every single one of us. We get to choose that and we get to walk in that regardless of what's going on in our life. There's been a lot of chaos for the last 3 years, and there will probably be more interruptions in our lives as we go through. Whenever we don't just stay where we are, we don't just arrive just to stay where we are. We get to keep on thriving in the midst of these transitions. And so my excitement, my encouragement to you is to tap into what makes you empowered and to live that authentic life and be determined not to let anything take you out, because you have one life and you get to live it to the fullest so that you can be empowered not only for yourself, but for those around you and for the world at large, which is what our world needs right now. We each get to step into that power and operate in that, because everybody's watching us. Whether we want it, whether we accept it or not, everybody's watching us, and they're watching us to see how we move through our life and our transitions. So you get to show up boldly, ladies. Glad to be here with you.
Thank you so much. Ooh, good stuff. Pamela, all the way out there in Modesto, California, who's sitting at her queenship. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, beautiful ladies. Thank you, Dr. Anita. My name is Pamela R. Garrison, and I am the CEO and founder of Bubbles for Life, which is a company that is geared to definitely using my wheelhouse of wisdom in order to impact, encourage, motivate, and empower women and people all over this world. And in those bubbles, we do something that's called power her sexiness. And so that chapter, I got to feel it when I say it. Power your sexiness, because as women, we often get trapped in the titles of which were given to us. But here we're after the whole woman. And so my chapter is all about that guidance to cherish the whole woman, which is in you. So we don't want any part of you left behind in the mix. We need you to bring it all forward. And that's what we're after today. When we're going to power your success, we're going to get all of you. You're not leaving anything on this table. So I'm looking forward to all the fun we're going to have doing this.
I love it.
Amen.
Absolutely love it. Thank you, ladies. And last but definitely not least, Dr. Gloria Willingham Torch. She's down there at the bottom there. So Miss Gloria, Dr. Gloria, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Dr. Anita. And you ladies, you women are, my goodness, your power is just shining through. I can feel it, I can sense it, and I know everybody out there in the audience must be feeling it the very same way. Now, here I come. Now, let me tell you what I'm about. Okay, first of all, I know that we have power. I see the power here. I can sense the power out there. But here's one thing I want to bring to mind, and that's that power and comes to us at different stages in our lives and in different ways. So women, let me ask a question here first. How do you know when it's time to go? Have you ever been out there where you are at the top of your game? You're at the top of your game. You're all you can be if you're working. If you're an entrepreneur, everything seems to be going just fine. But in the back of your mind, aha, you know that you have another whole piece of power out there that hasn't even been tapped into yet. So let me tell you just very quickly. Now, I have been a little of everything, I think, in my life across the years. And I find if I look at my life in decades, every decade I seem to be something else, okay? So I've been a teacher, a nurse, I've been an Army officer, I have been the CEO of a company, you name it. I've been a researcher, you name it, but all at different times in my life. And one of the things that I found out was that there would be times in my life when everybody around me was doing fine and they thought I was wonderful. They said, oh, you're just so good at this. Oh, we're just so glad you're here. And I just really relished that. I loved it. I loved what it felt like. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this is not really who I am. I can do something else. This is not who I want to be. And so when I got ready to write this chapter, I thought, let me ask, maybe I'm alone out here in the world. Maybe other people don't feel this. Let me just throw this out here. Let me just ask the women out here, tell me, looking at where you are right now, no matter what you think your success is that really you? Is that really where you want to be? So how do you know when it's time to go? That's really what we're going to talk about. And I can't wait to hear the stories as we're speaking to each other and as we're talking, because I know you have the stories. I know you have the stories because I've met a lot of you. And if I haven't met you in person, I've met you in my head. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Dr. Anita. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, all you wonderful co-authors out there as well. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, you ladies don't even know how all of them have turned me on. I know all of you are turned on just as well. I'm like, you can feel this power running through each and every one of them, because for such a time as this, there's never been a more powerful time for us as women to collaborate. We have a phrase at Power Her Success Alliance. It is, feminine collaboration is the new domination. When women actually come together, like really come together to create win, 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 win opportunities, we will change the world. This is our mission. This is our vision. This is what we are on this planet to do through our own individual lives and experiences and talents. And you can feel this from each and every one. So now let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's start really having some conversations. All right, Dr. Gloria, since you ended us last, you started us off. We're all hot because of what you said. I'm gonna come to you first. Define a feminine power and why is it essential for every woman?
Oh my goodness. Leading yourself. That is really what I see as feminine power. You know, Dr. Anita, I know you and I have talked about this a little bit. But leading yourself. See, as women, we're so used to leading others. We really are. We lead others all over the place, whether at work and at home, in our families, in our schools. We lead others to tremendous amounts of success. But our real power comes from being able to lead ourselves. How do we lead ourselves from point A to point B to point C, D, E, F, G, all the way down the line? How do we do that? Because that's where the power is. Once we stop that, then we've lost power, and we don't want to do that. We want to figure out who we are and how do we lead ourselves.
So tell me, what is leadership?
Good point.
Gotcha.
Good point. You did. You just sort of threw that one out. I thought I was done. Thank you very much. That's okay. I'm ready.
No, you say something smart. I'm gonna pull it forward.
So when we talk about leadership, at least the way I'm sort of conceptualizing it, when we're talking about leader and leadership, it's the one who's out in front of the game. You're in front of the thought. You're not always running behind everything else. You're running behind what somebody else did. You're running behind what somebody else said. You're the one who's out in front of the game. That's what I see as being leadership. And you're going to have leaders there, and we're it. We're it. No doubt about it. No doubt about that.
Thank you very much. And that's the reason why I wanted her. She said exactly what I wanted her to say, is so many of us as women have been busy on the outside. Yeah. We've got Facebook groups, we're doing all these lives, we are doing challenges, we're busy doing all the things that we're called to do in our lives as entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. And yet we're still not leading our lives. That was my revelation for me. I had magazines and I had books and I had podcasts and I had TV shows and I was working with this client, I was working with that client, I was on stages, and people on the outside said, oh, she's leading a phenomenal life, when the truth be told, as proud as I am of my success, and I will continue to do those things because I actually enjoy doing them, but I had forgotten me. Somewhere along the line, I lost my own power, despite the fact that I was showing up powerfully.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
So many of us lose ourselves because we believe it's all about others before ourselves. When last year, when I turned 55, so I was 54 going to 55, I had this Medea incident happen in my spirit that said, I'm gonna do this next year. And my worst Tyler Perry voice ever. Sorry, Tyler Perry. My worst Medea voice ever. And I'm saying that because that shifted so much for me. And kind of like with Lori, I'm gonna actually have Lori talk next, because sometimes you have to go into the shadow. You've got to go into the dark night of the soul. You've got to go into the cave to find your true power. So Lori, talk about that for a minute. What is the dark night of the soul, the shadow work that's so essential to our power?
Yes.
Well, what I would say, the shadow, first off, the shadow is a concept that Carl Jung had created. And basically it is whatever you suppress or repress or deny will come bearing gifts. They will maybe teach you, it may kick your butt, but it may also be the opening to something wonderful. So never discount any of your gifts, any of your power, because you have a certain blueprint that you came here to do. And anytime it rises up in energy, you can feel it. You can really feel it. So my chapter is, you're kind of a big deal, because you need to get out of the shadow and into the limelight with your gifts, because that's what people really, really need, crave, and are desiring. And that's what you are desiring too. So really taking a peek into the shadow, which is pretty deep stuff, and looking at what kind of archetypical things that have been happening. Are you kind of like the good girl who wants to be the people pleaser? Or do you actually stand in your own power? And are you one person who can say, no, that is not what I'm going to be doing. I am going to do something for myself today, right now, right here. And sometimes no it's a full sentence, actually. No is a full sentence, and you need to use it. And also the yes needs to come from you. You need to say yes to you.
That's powerful. I love that.
Powerful.
Because in regards to the shadow work, she nailed it. So often we as women have stepped into doing the things that we do because someone has directly, or more so indirectly, has told us who we should be, how we should act, how we should show up. And that's created this energy around us that's actually blocking us from receiving the very thing that God intended for us to have, whether you say God, source, spirit, whatever the word may be. It's blocking us because you're not being your true nature. You're not being the big deal that God created you to be. And that energy is going to make you tired. It's going to make you broke, busted, and disgusted. And you'll hear Pamela say all the time, broke ain't sexy. It just not. It's just in no kind of way. Being unhealthy ain't sexy. Being low energy is not sexy. So April, talk to us about energy. Why is energy, as a powerful woman, thank you, Lori, is so essential to our success?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dr. Anita. I like to piggyback off of what Lori said. It's, you can't have good energy if you're hiding in the shadow. And for myself in the past, and almost every woman I've seen, what's really getting in her way is you know, not just the people pleasing, but the reason she's people pleasing is because she hasn't stopped to think about like what she actually wants. It's like we are told by society what to do, you know, go to college, get a job, get the picket fence, have 2.5 kids. And it's often not until we are like, we have the job, we have the house, we have the car, we have the husband, we have the kids, and we're like, what now? And then there's this, am I really happy? And most women are like, no, actually, I'm miserable. I'm exhausted. And I don't know if this is even what I really want. And it goes, there's two things that I think are absolutely pivotal for good energy. Number one is actually loving yourself and who you are. And you can't do that if you're even 1 degree out of alignment with what you truly want deep inside. And the other, which is why we are all here on this call together and creating this powerful book together, we need community. There is, if you do not have at least one person, or preferably a whole group of people who are lit up about the changes you are making in your life and the things that you are doing, hang out with us and find those people. Because even if you are not yet a hell yes with enthusiasm to who you are as a person, if you hang out around the people who see that in you, they are going to magnify it until you are like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm here for. And at that point, when you know why you're here and you are helping others and you are having all the amazing things you're doing in your life reflected back to you, it's impossible not to have amazing energy. So thank you, Dr. Anita, for bringing that forward.
Oh, I love it. That was on fire. All of you are just on fire. The key points that are coming forward are so essential. Okay, so with what April said, I almost called Angela. April said in regards to really mastering your energy, I agree with her 1,000%. You've got to really fall in love with yourself. Now, here's the thing. We hear that in messages all the time. All the time. You've got to love yourself. You have to know that you're enough. You've got to ... But it goes back to the first thing I said at the beginning of this conversation. You've got to make a decision that it's okay to finally make yourself safe and declare it is safe for me to know that I am enough. It is safe for me to love all of me. It is safe for me to be wealthy. It is safe for me to be sexual. It is safe for me to be a leader. It is safe for me to be a multimillionaire. Have you not heard? Those are like statements that I've been declaring out to the universe for the past year and definitely last month. It is safe and time for me to show up in the fullness of who I am as a woman, to choose me. That being said, come on, Miss Pamela, talk about a woman choosing her and why that's so powerful.
No, and as you were speaking, I couldn't help but add this, because in that safety, and you've confessed all the safety, give yourself permission, that permission to be, because so often women didn't have the permission to do, to receive, to be who they desire to be. And we're caught up in those thoughts that other people projected on us. So it's very important that you own who you are, with flaws and all. You have to learn to love yourself. One of the first things I talk about is being self-aware. You have to be aware of your desires, of your passion, of your body, of just the things you want to do. As April was saying, you know, we've been conditioned in this world to just believe that here's what you need to do with your life, rather than tapping into your spiritual side to see what you were called to do in this life. There's a big difference. And so there's the way in which people project you to be, but then there's that inner knowing, that inner witness. As Dr. Gloria was saying, you know, there's something nagging back there that's letting you know this is not enough. This is not what I desired. I'm glad you're excited about what I've accomplished, but I'm so much more. There's so much more in me and so much I haven't shown you yet. When do I get that opportunity to let it out? Well, that goes to what Dr. Anita was saying. You're only one decision. It's a decision. It's coming to that conclusion that here's what I'm going to do. Here's who I am. And let me introduce myself again to the world. Often you have to do that because as we discover, as we get the revelation, we are then free to walk in the revelation we have. The reason a lot of women don't move forward because you're still in the past trying to figure out why you didn't do it before. But it wasn't your timing, it wasn't your season, and nor did you have the revelation, knowledge, or the desire to move forward. But when things shift in your life, when it shifts and you know that you know that you know that you know, I'm supposed to be over there while I'm still standing here. It is time to start taking steps toward what's in my heart, what's that passion that's driving me. And I'm telling you, when you give yourself permission and you make that firm decision that this is what I'm going to do, one or two things is going to happen with the people around you that you are so concerned about. Either they're going to get on your cheering team and be your biggest promoters, or they're going to remove themselves from your life so that they can find somebody to do what you used to do. Tell them bye, keep moving forward.
Woo! Yeah. Yes. All right, now this is like snap, snap, crackle, and pop. I know you're feeling this just as well as I am, and it's like that decision to give yourself permission. Because truthfully, I believe that too many of us have been hiding. We've been conditioned to live small, even though everyone's telling you to come out of hiding. You put a toe out, you put a little pinky toe out. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I just got criticized, or oh my God, this is too hard, or oh my God, whatever. You weren't meant to live life alone, and you weren't designed to build business alone. You really weren't designed to do this by yourself. Community was one of the things that April talked about too. And if you really want to have massive success, you've got to be in community. You've got to have an inner circle to help you move into your next level of being the woman that you were designed to be, because this is who you truly are. And I think Pamela said there's a difference between who you know yourself to be energetically and the thing that you're fulfilling that way, and who you are designed to be by God. If we as women pursued living from our higher divine feminine self, you know how much easier things would be? You know, if we really got out of this thing called our humanness and really focused on living in that revelation. It's one thing to know of that, because I think we all know it. It's a whole nother thing to get this into your body, into your beingness. Because once it drops there, I'm gonna steal Michelle's word. Once it gets into that embodiment, that's when vitality kicks in. Michelle, talk to us about vitality and power for a woman.
Oh my word. Vitality is a word that I love, and everything we do on a daily basis helps us build that reservoir so that when we are having maybe a lull day, we do have reserves that we can tap into that can keep us going. Everybody has said so amazingly that it's safe, but how about we're worthy and we are enough, and we can't step into that power because first and foremost, that's what we were designed to do. And whether we have to find that champion that's in our pinky toe, and by the way, on the definition of champion, it's not in a battle where someone loses and someone wins. It's just all about within us. We get to choose to be that champion so that we can live this victorious life, this amazing life, this life that we were designed and specifically created with our own unique gifts, our unique talents and abilities. So, and nobody else has. So each and every one of you have your own unique gifts and talents and abilities that we don't have, and we need you. So when we all are stepping into that worthiness of who we are, that's when we are showing up powerfully to make a difference. And it's not a competition so that somebody has to lose. It's always, and Dr. Anita said in the first place, it's a win-win-win-win, everybody wins situation. And when we are able to live on a daily basis that way, like I said, even if it's kind of a lull day or there's something going on that kind of jolts us and knocks us, I don't live a Pollyanna life that I see craziness, happiness in the midst of craziness. I'm aware of what the craziness is, but I choose what my focus is on. And I choose to focus on the things that I can make worthy, and I can make a difference, and I can make a change for myself and for others in what I have control to do. I'm not trying to change other people or other situations that are beyond my control. I get to stay in my lane, and I get to stay at my pace in my own race, because when we each are operating in that way, that's when that community and that collaboration and that domination happens. And we get to support each other in a way that when we wake up in the morning, we're like, yes, it's another great day. I know all these great fun things that I have going on in my life. I know I'm aware of things that aren't perfect, that I want different, but I get to show up with the things that I know that I can control, and in the greatness that I am, and with the vitality that I have, so that other people can, I tell people, we become the muse that so powerfully entices others to step into their power and their greatness. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right on point. You know what as Michelle was talking, she was really defining power. And that's what we want for you, is we want you to give yourself permission. We want you to choose you. Because the moment you decide to choose you, that's when everything changes. You've been choosing your baby daddy. Am I allowed to say it that way? You've been choosing your other woman on the other side. You've been choosing lack. You've been choosing scarcity. You've been choosing fear, whether you choose to admit it or not. You chose it in some sort of way. Now you get to make a new decision. You get to choose a new direction. You get to give yourself permission to be a very different woman. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna get on a soapbox right now. I'm gonna highlight my own self. Shoot, let me highlight my own self. Spotlight me for everybody. Hi. Let me tell you something. 2023, which is only a few weeks away, is being energetically positioned for women like you and I to show up like never before. That if you, long time ago, I had a post on my page that for such a time as this, you were being positioned for such a time as this. Earlier on this year, they did this whole Roe and Wade. You remember that incident? And we as women, our rights were taken away again. But in my mind, I'm like, they're not really taken away. That someone thought that they can do it. But when you're in your power, when you give yourself permission, when you make a decision of what your future is going to be, when you speak words of life out of your own self about who you are, how you're going to live, what's going to happen to you, I promise you, the whole universe is going to hear you and listen and follow your lead. Not someone else's leading your life. Who said, somebody help me, if you allow someone else to lead your life, they can lead you in the direction that you don't want to go. So it's important for you to lead your life your own way. I don't know who said it. Lori, you're good at quotes. Who said that? She's like, I have no clue.
I kind of don't have any idea, but I
kinda
have
called her out
heard
on it.
lead, follow, or get out of the way, and that was by Ford.
There you go. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. I want you to get turned on, as each and every one of us here is turned on, about you saying this year coming, well, let's say right now, because we're living in this present moment. Right now, I'm choosing me. Right now, I choose to be used to activate my vitality. I choose to operate outside of my shadow. I choose to lead myself. I choose to focus on the kind of energy I want in me, as me, and through me. I choose to cultivate the woman that I really am. And then next, oh my gosh, what would happen if all of these things became true for you? And then in that, you decide, I'm gonna be a multi-billionaire. I didn't say millionaire, I said billionaire. Well, in order to be a billionaire, like all of these companies, you've got to be intentional and you've got to be strategic. It just doesn't happen. So Deanna, talk about mastering your money. Come on, girl, get us rich.
Mastering your money is so important. And for all the things that all the speakers have had ahead of me said, because when you want to step out on your own, when you want to make that shift, one of the things that often holds us back is that in the job we have that security of income. We as women, we're concerned about the people we look after and what happens if I take care of myself, because I'm not sure that financially I can do it. So if you master your finances, you may have to make a shift or an adjustment in where your finances or how they're working, but you have the confidence that that's not something you have to worry about. And the earlier you start, the better, but it's never too late. It's never too late. And the more you learn about it, the more empowered you become and the more confidence you get. And the confidence to know that I can step out, I can do things and take care of myself. I can make a big strategic change in what I'm doing for a career or in my life. I might want to move somewhere different, but to know that you already have the finances in place to support that decision takes a lot of the stress. So you can live in your vitality. You don't have to, you can come out of the shadows. You can do all these things that we're saying, because that's a worry that we don't have to have. And I do believe right now, a lot of people get held back because they love all of this. And then they say, okay, I still can't do it because I can't afford it. But we can. Once we master this, it's no secret. It's pretty simple. Women conquer so much, we can conquer this. And we can work it better than anybody else to make it work for us.
Deanna, do me a favor, because this issue I think is, so over the next year, there are very specific topics that I'm bringing forward, bringing more authors just like this to different books. And one of the books is called Power Her Wealth, which also includes obviously money. What is the number one step that a woman can take to help her begin the journey of mastering her money?
I personally believe it's her mindset. Before I would have probably said managing your debt, they're close, but I've often found that people hold themselves back because, or don't know why they get stuck at a place, but it's because of a mindset that they have about how much they're worth or how much they can get to. I always remember an example of an individual in one of the classes I was doing saying, I get to a certain number, and then I never get past that number. When I turn around again, I'm back where I was before. Well, that was a mindset. That number somewhere in their brain is set that that's as much as I can save. So they lost track of the goal once they reach that number. So unless you deal with the mindset, I don't know if you can hear all the thundering that's going on outside here, but unless you control that mindset, you will get limited you will have limitations in your growth. So mindset and controlling and eliminating your debt are two of them.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So I know, and it's funny that you use that analogy because that was my analogy. Even though I had a high set point, it is my story. I would get to this particular financial bracket, which is, fairly high, and I crash against it over and over and over and over again. And it wasn't until I actually started to do my own work and actually take my power back in my money that's beginning to shift. And I had to do a lot of internal work around it. So I want you to know it's okay, it's safe to do the internal work. And I would encourage you to connect to each and every one of these women, follow them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, get connected to these women so that you can take your power back. And taking it back, you become a powerful woman who can change not only your own life, but who can change her family's life, who can change her community's life, who can change the world, and who can create a legacy that will last a lifetime. Because that's what we as women were designed to do. We were designed to build legacies. We're not to be the legacy for someone else. You're supposed to be your own legacy. But we are a part of the shaping of the legacy of the future. And the best way to create the legacy of someone else's future, be your own legacy. And that means being in your own power, right? Be the powerful woman that God designed you to be. You've always had this power. You've never not had it. So before we close out, ladies, Is there anything else that each one of you wants to say to leave our audience with this in remembrance of Power Her Success? What's the last thing you want to say, April?
Yeah, I just want to, I think it would be great if we all went around and said what legacy it is we want to lead. I mean, myself, I'm creating Yes to Life Foundation for suicide prevention. And that is what's really on my heart. And when I could never have come up with that unless I had gone through all the difficult things I had gone through. So it highlights all those rough times I had, like Lori's saying, the shadow, but also how I have transformed that into my power. And so thank you, Dr. Anita, for bringing up the topic of legacy.
I love it. Love it. All right, Michelle, what about you?
Well, there's just this quote that hit me like a ton of bricks, and it caused me to say, oh, I was really living a life of complacency and how I wanted to change that in my life. And it's by Sheila Walsh. And it is, for years, I applied an anesthetic to my soul, only to discover I couldn't be selective with which parts of my heart I deaden. When I choose to contain pain, I contain joy. And that hit me so
That's
like
deep.
a Mack truck full of bricks upside my head. And I thought, no more. Ain't no way to live. I get to change and I get to create and I get to step into my power so that I have the life that I want and I deserve to live.
Yeah, I love it. You didn't have to send me that quote. I want that quote.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Miss Lori.
I really believe that everybody has a special gift that no one else but you, who is listening right now, has. And that is your legacy to explore and to embody and to expand. Because when you use your gifts, you change not only yourself, you will change your community, you will change the world. And we need more of those people here right now. Look at what craziness is going on. We as women have so much power to make a difference in the world. We don't have to believe in some of the weirdness that is going on. And for me, my legacy comes from pain, actually, from what, from some things that had happened in my former community. And that's a whole nother story, but it's why I even got to be a wedding officiant. I heard the call. I literally heard the call from Spirit to do it. And it healed my heart. And what you can do right now could heal not only your heart, it could heal the planet. I really believe that.
Beautiful, Lori. Thank you very much. Okay, Miss Deanna.
Okay, so mine is that I've always been passionate about helping people. And I think with the finance part, I want people to realize that regardless of your income, regardless of your status, regardless of what's gone on in the past, everybody can achieve financial independence. You can take control of your finances. It's about the habit. It's about understanding what to do and what to utilize. It has nothing to do with how much income you have. And once you make that decision, then by continuing to learn and understand, you can start building a very, very strong foundation and then a beautiful house that you can leave for whatever your legacy is. You can leave that and you can make decisions within your life as you go through the stages of life that work out best for you and your family. And that's what it's about, showing people that it's really not that difficult. I don't care if you make $1 or you make 100,000. Everybody can have financial independence.
I so align with that message and legacy in so many different ways. It's unbelievable. I think that's my next part of my legacy that's coming forward, is really, I'm on a mission to, I know there's at least 100 women who want to be seen in a much bigger, bolder way. They want to make a global impact and they want to be at least a multimillionaire. I know it without a shadow of a doubt in my mind. And that's the journey that I'm on. And so I love your message so much. Okay, Miss Dr. Gloria, what about you?
All right, let me jump in here very quickly, man. It's short, sweet, and to the point. It really is. I think that we as women, don't talk to each other enough.
Right.
We don't
Right.
talk to each other enough. There is nothing that has been said here as we've been listening. It's wonderful. See how rich it was just hearing all of us speak, just speak it into being. And I think we don't talk to each other enough. And so I think if I can be sort of a voice or whatever you want to call it out there, that sort of calls us out and calls us into this world of who we are and to share what we know with each other. I saw the look on the faces as all of us were speaking, and we were all nodding our heads as if we could identify with all of this. And I knew everybody out there in our audience is doing the same thing. Now look at the power of bringing that all together. That's something I'd like to see.
Yeah, I have to tell you, that is one of my heart. I think everything about my business has always been about collaboration, because I think two can do it so much better than one. Imagine what would happen if 100 of us came together. I dream that stuff. Like, I see visions of it all the time. My team who's with me, they hear me talk it all the time. Like, you're not supposed to do it alone. God didn't create us to do it alone. So I'm gonna try to bring everybody together. So I agree with you, Dr. Laura. I'm like on fire right now. Last but definitely not least, bring it in. Come on, Miss Pamela. Tell us your legacy, girl.
I'm trying to get off the mute button.
Yeah, talk.
Mute it. Mute it.
Talk.
Oh my goodness. So many things came to mind, but I think the one thing that stood out is I just want women to remember it is not what people call you, it's what you answer to. So because what you answer to reflects on the inner woman, which is you. So as people are saying their opinions and what they think and what they thought and all of these things, please let that be like water off a duck's back. Don't let it penetrate to interfere with your growth. Don't let that penetrate, because it is not what people are saying. It is what you answer to. So once you make that decision from today and stand firmly on it, then you're going to know your place in your name and what to answer to. And I'm going to leave it on that.
Okay, so this has been phenomenal. Imagine what would happen if you were in their presence. Imagine what would happen if you actually worked with each and every one of these women. Imagine having them in your inner circle. Imagine having them speaking life into your beingness. Well, that can happen when you buy this book, you read their chapter, you opt into their free gifts, you connect to them on Facebook, you connect to them on Instagram, you follow them on LinkedIn, you connect to the Power Her Success Alliance, you connect to our Facebook group, Power Her Success Club. Imagine hearing this all the time. And I'm going to be bold enough to say, give us 365 days, 1 year of your life. I promise you, hear me, girlfriend, I promise you will change your life. With that being said, ladies, thank you so much for your time, your energy, and being here with me. All of you ladies who watch this, I pray that you have been inspired, you have been turned on. You know that it's time for you to be a powerful woman, and we're here to help you make that happen. With so much love for you. Ladies, thank you so much. Love you all. Wow, I love you, Deanna. Love you, April. Love you, Michelle. Love you, Pamela. Love you, Laura. Love you, Dr. Gloria. Love you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We've got some other authors in the book. They weren't able to be here today, but every single one of those chapters are going to change your life. You're going to use it as a resource book to keep you on the path of being powerful, to keep you on the path of being successful, and keep you on the path of living the life that God created you to live, which is abundant. Your God self only knows lavish abundance. Your God self only knows lavish abundance. This is your divine birthright. And when you step into the power of that truth, I promise you, your life will be forever changed. God bless. Much love to you. See you again soon. Bye-bye.